In the wake of our flawless rescue mission, I actually managed to get a decent night's sleep for once. At least, I think that's what happened. Well, I think I was sleeping. I guess it doesn't really matter. When I woke up, Bradford was quick to call me to the bridge. He handed me 2 reports, each one describing a different opportunity we could pursue. The first was a vulnerable Advent relay station, which we could destroy to thwart Advent's attempts to track the Avenger. The second was a straightforward assassination, targeting the field commander who was overseeing the distribution of Advent's new field ordnance. Unfortunately, we couldn't be in 2 places at once, so Bradford needed me to choose which operation to prioritize. He could have easily made the choice himself, but I knew that he just wanted to use me as a scapegoat again, just in case something went wrong. I carefully weighed my options, then chose to prioritize public safety. Less explosives in the field meant less chance of civilian casualties or public property damage. And if I really was going to lead a war against the Advent Authority, the least I could do was try to reduce the potential collateral damage. Still, assassination was some rather bloody business, so I was going to need some of our most ruthless men. Karn eagerly jumped at the chance for some carnage, with Mox echoing him a second later, eager to get back out on the field as well. They were both capable soldiers, but I decided it was best to temper their bloodlust with a couple of more disciplined troops. Greenguard had already worked with Mox once before, and Michaelum was a veteran XCOM operative, so they both seemed like a good fit for the squad. I ordered them down to the Sky Ranger. Operation Dying Summer had officially begun.
A trusted source in the Resistance has confirmed that a high-ranking Advent military officer will be moving through this area as part of a routine patrol. We have an opportunity here to completely disrupt Advent's command structure and delay their current operations. All we have to do is neutralize that officer. Menace 1-5, we're tracking the Advent General and his escorts, but we don't have an exact fix on their location. Sweep the area and eliminate the target along with any other hostiles that stand in your way.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back. Today it looks like we're starting off with one of the mission types that's new to War of the Chosen. In this mission, we start off on the opposite side of the map from a special Advent officer who we have to hunt down and kill. The twist is that, initially, the mission isn't timed, but the second you're spotted, they call in for an evacuation shuttle. And then you have to race the clock to get to the officer before he can escape the battlefield. Normally your best bet is to try to avoid the wandering pods until you can get the general in line of sight and then start off combat, to make sure he doesn't escape. But unfortunately in this case it looks like we're in a fairly linear set of tunnels, so we may have no choice but to fight our way through and hope we can get to him fast enough. This map is actually disorienting me a little. I'm having a hard time telling which passageways I can and can't go in. Since there's no time limit yet, there's no reason for me to rush. I'm just going to take normal movements and then end every turn with Overwatch, just in case an enemy pod happens to stumble onto us. Okay, that is literally a stairway to nowhere. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone episode. Ah, I see the edge of the map now. Okay, I guess we need to turn about 90 degrees to our right and head in that direction.
Moving.
Now I will run with a couple of my men here just to make sure everyone stays together. I don't want them to spread too far apart. Ah, and there we've already got visual on our first enemy pod. It looks like a sectoid and a stun lancer. The sectoid's not that big a deal, but in close quarters like this, that stun lancer could be lethal. Now, we want to try to delay starting the timer as long as possible, so I think I'm going to try to skirt past these guys, but this is a dangerous game I'm playing here. Even if I can get past them, once combat does start, that means I'll have an active pod behind me, so I'll have to be prepared to defend myself from 2 directions.
Moving on target location. I'm on it. Eyes on the prize. I will watch.
Looks like they doubled back and started heading in the opposite direction. That's annoying. It puts them right in our path again. Well, I could start heading down the tunnel in the other direction, see if I can get past them that way. But odds are they might just end up turning around again, so I may just have to resign myself to starting combat early on this run. There's actually a little platform up there. That might make a good perch, but I'm afraid the subway train will block line of sight too much. Alright, well, for now we'll just focus on moving everyone into a better position.
Moving to position.
We'll hold off on making any rash decisions until we see where that enemy pod goes.
I move. Estoy en marcha. I'm on the move. Roger, got my eyes order. Eyes on the prize.
Yeah, they just doubled back again. They're just pacing back and forth, waiting for someone to stumble into their field of view. Let's see if I can cheese the system a bit and figure out exactly where they're standing. Ah, there we go. There's at least one of them. And I'm pretty sure that's the other one, too. So we have a good idea of where they are. I could probably tag them both with a single grenade, but I'm not sure we're ready to start this fight just yet. I should probably move everyone into better positions first.
Affirmative, moving out. Looks like hostiles over here.
Okay, so now we've got visual on them again. That makes it a little easier to position everyone else.
Yes, Commander. Affirmativo.
I kind of regret bringing Karn on this run. If I'd known it was going to be an enclosed tunnel, I wouldn't have brought a sharpshooter. But we'll make the most of it. Hopefully I'll have a good line of sight up here on this elevated position. Wow, I think that sectoid just smashed face first right through that mannequin. What a badass. Ah, there's another pod over there, and it's another sectoid and stun lancer. That's not good. Well, as much as I would have liked to sneak past at least one of these pods, I can't afford to leave 2 stun lancers behind me. Now, I'm not sure if Karn is going to have line of sight once they move to cover, so I'm going to keep him on Overwatch to maximize his chances of being able to sneak a shot in while they're moving.
Granada!
Okay, now that definitely hit the sectoid, but what about... Ah, okay, it did hit the stun lancer as well. That's good news. Ah, nice. And Karn did pick off the stun lancer with an Overwatch shot. Blood for the Blood God and so forth. Alright, now the sectoid is better entrenched behind full cover, so let's see what we can do here. Now, I was hoping that Mott's would be able to pull him out of position with justice, but I guess something about our cover placement makes that impossible. So I guess I'll just have to do this the old-fashioned way instead and blow his cover down with a grenade. And that opens him up for a perfect flanking shot. Unless I get XCOM'd. There we go. That went about as well as I could have hoped for.
We're picking up an inbound Advent transport. The aliens are going to try and extract the general from the AO. Don't let him get on board that ship.
Now, we lucked out and that second enemy pod didn't activate, but unfortunately we're now on a pretty tight timer. We have to cross the rest of the map before the timer runs out, or the field commander will escape. I do need to hurry, but I can't afford to be too reckless, so I need to control my approach so that I don't accidentally expose any of my men to that other pod we know is out there. Fortunately, we're actually closer to their evac zone than I thought we were.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
Ah, there they are. Unfortunately, because of their reflexive scamper maneuver, they're now entrenched under cover. And even more unfortunately, we're all out of grenades at this point. We really need to prioritize taking out that stun lancer, though, because he's so close he could theoretically disable one of our troops every turn until we take him down. But Karn has a perfect angle on him. Yes, yes, I know. Blood for the Blood God, again. Oh, now this is a perfect chance to use justice. Oh, Mox. Mox. I'm not mad. I'm just profoundly disappointed in you right now. Well, Michaelum, I was kind of hoping you'd save that shot for the stun lancer, but hey, that's fine. That sectoid was shimmying pretty aggressively.
Help! Someone help!
See, Mox, this is what happens when you don't hit your target. Let this be a lesson to you. If you live. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. This is looking pretty bad. We've got 5 turns left to get to that field commander. We have 2 enemies on the field. One of our guys is panicked, and the other is unconscious. Alright, Karn. Let's see if that blood god of yours is really everything you've built it up to be. That was badass. You know, in retrospect, I might have to talk to some of the other men about worshipping this blood god fellow. He's alright. Alright, now, Michaelum has no chance of taking out this sectoid in 1 turn, but at the very least I can move him to a better position, and he might be able to knock a few pegs off his health bar. Actually, with a 28% chance to hit, we'll just set him on Overwatch. Not that it helped, even when he had an open shot, he still whiffed. Alright, well at least Green Guard is active again, and hopefully he can... Oh wait, he doesn't have, shoot. I was hoping he'd be able to remove the unconscious status on Mox, but I guess that's actually Phoenix who has that ability, isn't it? That is unfortunate. I guess we'll just have to carry on with 3 men, but with only 4 turns remaining. We might be looking at our second failed mission here. And Karn, well, he's only got a 47% chance to hit. I guess I should... No, you know what? Let's go for it. Wow, that blood god is really on point.
Good copy. Moving on target.
Now, if I can just sneak one more shot in on... Oh, great. Another enemy pod. Well, that's unfortunate. Though, that one left himself open to a flank shot. What kind of monster would turn down such a generous offer? Ooh, and some loot, too. Well, even if we do end up failing this mission, at least we'll get something out of it.
Órdenes confirmadas. En marcha.
Now, Michaelum only has a 45% chance to hit either target, but I think I'm going to hedge my bets on that sectoid wasting his next turn raising a zombie. Nicely done. Things are looking up here. Relatively speaking. Oh, and there we go. We've got a psychic zombie on the field. Unfortunately, Karn needs to reload, so he's not going to be able to pick off that sectoid. And Michael doesn't really have a good chance to hit him either.
Me muevo a la posición.
Oh shoot, I just remembered that Karn still has a grenade. I should have moved him up to those barrels instead. Then he could have taken out the sectoid automatically. Alright, well, let's take our chances. Michael offers his token prayers to the Blood God and... there you go. Okay, that should clear the way to the Advent Field Commander. He's going to be loitering somewhere over there near the evac zone. I'm not sure if I should carry Mox with us, but I'm pretty sure he'll be evac'd at the end of the mission anyway.
Moving.
I guess we'll just take this chance to reload our guns and start creeping up towards that loot there. I'm just worried we'll trigger the officer. Or even worse, a fourth pod.
Heading to that location.
Alright, so far so good. Let's go ahead and grab that loot and see what happens.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
Ooh, an autoloader. We can definitely make use of that.
Got some goods here.
Still no sign of that Advent Field Commander. I guess the rest of the guys will just start moving diagonally across the field. He's got to be around there somewhere. I'd like to put Karn on Overwatch, but at this point I guess I just need to rush up and see if I can get visual on this guy.
Rolling out.
Okay, still no sign of him. Man, I hope we're not in the wrong subway tunnels. Again.
I'm on the move.
Alright, well I guess our best bet is just to put everyone on Overwatch and hope for the best. Maybe we'll catch this guy as he moseys on over to the evac zone.
Closing on target position now. Allá voy. Todo cubierto. I'm on it. Overwatch. Shut up. Listen.
Aha, there he is.
Advent's transport is in position for the evac. Don't let the general escape. Objective in range.
Okay, we're off to a good start. There's 4 damage.
Target identity confirmed. That's the general. Take him out before they can escape. We won't get another shot at this.
Now, which way are you going to... Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I was worried he was going to run right to the evac. Okay, well, I think we've got this under control now. He really had me worried there for a moment, though.
It's still moving. The Advent General is getting close to their evac point. Don't let him get away. Voy hacia allá.
Okay, and now I'm worried again. Well, thank goodness Karn still has that one last grenade.
This is for you.
Whew. Undisputed MVP, Karn and his Blood God.
Mission accomplished.
Undisputed LVP, Mox, unconscious somewhere in a subway car.
It is with deep regret that I must inform you that the criminals among us who would dare see our union fail have sunken so low as to attack a peaceful civilian under the employ of Advent. Remain vigilant and rest assured we will stop at nothing to prevent these grievous attacks.
I love how Mox is right in the middle of that photo, just ruining it for everyone.
End the Elder's false vision. That is the purpose of all skirmishers. Until it is done, there can be no other path for us.
Wow, Mox is out for 11 days. Didn't realize he was so frail. Guy was barely injured. Alright, well, let's see here. I think it's only natural for Green Guard to start speccing towards Medic as well. Now, between Long Watch and Return Fire, I'm going to say Long Watch every time. I'd rather take a perk that doesn't require me to get shot at.
Commander, each of our soldiers is rated based on their understanding of our tactics and capabilities, something we refer to as combat intelligence. Because of their unique experiences in the field, our faction soldiers from the Resistance will gain access to new abilities based on this combat intelligence.
Okay, well, Mox has 3 perks to choose from. One of them requires him to be shot at, so I'm going to ignore that one. But between the other 2, I think we'll go with the extra item slot. Ah, and it looks like Michaelum has been inspired by Green Guard and become a specialist as well. Mox was a bit shaken, but Tygan was quick to reassure me that his wounds weren't serious. Instead, our lead scientist seemed much more eager to discuss the Advent datapad we had acquired, blathering on about some sort of biomedical research he hoped to recover from it. I nodded, only half listening as I surveyed the after-action report that the spokesman had forwarded to my computer. We had successfully disrupted Advent's attempt to distribute explosives to their peacekeeping forces. And on top of that, our success had attracted another scientist, Dr. Garza. I happily took the opportunity to distract Tygan by sending him down to greet our new recruit. That bought me at least a bit of time to myself, but before long Tygan had contacted me again. With both Garza and Thawan assisting him, they had already finished upgrading all of the assault rifles in our armory. And now that they were finished with that, well, I already knew where this conversation was going. I quickly cut him off, giving him permission to begin studying the captured Advent datapad. At the very least, it was nice to see him so enthusiastic about a project that didn't involve hollowing out a corpse. I guess I should have known better because he quickly lost interest in the project, instead fobbing it off on his subordinates once it became evident that the datapad was full of mundane things like troop logistics and Advent porn. Having observed Mox's swift recovery following his recent injury, Tygan was now fascinated with finding out how the mutant hybrid's body functioned. But I quickly rejected his initial request to vivisect the soldier. Tygan didn't like that. In an effort to strike a compromise, I instead suggested that he could get the same information by researching some of the corpses we had down in cold storage. We were only holding on to them until we could find a discreet way to dispose of them anyway, so it didn't matter if he cut them up a little. He enthusiastically agreed and rushed off to his lab. I couldn't help but wonder if he had just manipulated me into giving him exactly what he wanted all along. Before much longer, the Avenger was echoing with the sounds of surgical saws and power tools, and I buried myself in busy work as I tried my best to ignore it. I skimmed over the latest reports that had been forwarded to my personal computer, but there was nothing terribly interesting in there. Bradford had sent me another report, again trying to vilify poor Mordena for her efforts to shut down our protection racket. As always seemed to be the case, Mordena contacted me right after Bradford finished bad-mouthing her. I couldn't help but smile, listening to her shameless flirting while I finished skimming a report about how we had managed to steal some Advent equipment or something. Afterwards, much to my chagrin, Tygan contacted me with the results of his latest butchery. It was nothing but page after page of densely packed ramblings broken up with occasional full-color pictures of his bloody handiwork. Unsurprisingly, his research had been largely focused on studying his subjects' brains. But for once, it actually seemed to yield some impressive results. He was proposing the development of 2 new devices. The first was some sort of battle scanner, which he claimed could detect Advent brainwaves or something to that effect, allowing our soldiers to remotely scout out sections of the battlefield. The other device was some sort of mind shield, which he claimed would essentially make our soldiers immune to things such as fear or hostile mental attacks by essentially suppressing certain parts of their brain activity. I pressed him for more details on possible side effects, but he just mumbled something about how emotions were overrated anyway. A bit concerned that I may have been giving him a little too much leeway in the lab, I turned him back towards some more practical work, asking him to devise some upgrades to our communications network. He didn't seem particularly enthusiastic about the request, but as usual, he didn't argue. The second I was done with Tygan, Bradford was back on my case again, this time about some new target of opportunity. Apparently he had pinpointed an Advent train full of valuable supplies, and he felt it was our civic duty to hijack it. Now I had questions about those supplies, such as what they were and where they were supposed to be going, but Bradford quickly changed the subject, insisting that we would be doing a public service since Advent was also using the train to transport monsters or something. It was blatantly obvious that Bradford was trying to manipulate me. Still, at least slaughtering monsters was marginally less soul-crushing than murdering Advent peacekeepers, and we really did need some more supplies. I reluctantly agreed to mobilize a squad. Now, I wasn't sure if Bradford had been serious about the monsters or not, but I decided it wasn't worth taking any chances. I had Phoenix head up the squad, backing him up with Outrider and Demon, as well as one of the other rookies, Zoltan Major. Lily Shen suggested trying out some of the new Advent weaponry we had just acquired, so I had her assign those to some of the men as well. Once I was satisfied with our preparations, I ordered them to report to the Sky Ranger. Operation Potent Spear was officially in motion.
We've got a lead on a disabled Advent train that was hit by resistance operatives working in this area. There's still the potential to recover valuable technology here, so we're moving to capture whatever we can. We'll need to secure the area and remove any hostile forces still defending the train if we're going to make this work. Menace 1-5, coordinates of the Advent train are locked in. Move to secure. Eliminate all hostiles.
Our initial readings were correct, Commander. The aliens have clearly unleashed their most unrestrained subjects on this area.
I'm not sure what to make of this Savage mission modifier. Okay. I guess it means there's going to be a lot of faceless.
Fully automated or remotely triggered.
Okay, well that's already a pretty tough starting pod. One faceless, one stun lancer, and a mounted turret. Well, fortunately this isn't a timed mission, so I can afford to hang back and wait for a good opportunity to strike.
On the way. My watch begins running cover.
Now this could be a good opportunity to drop a grenade on their heads. But I think this might be a situation where I'm better off making use of the Claymore. Now I'm a little concerned here because it specifies that I don't leave stealth when I'm shooting or triggering the Claymore, but it doesn't say anything about staying in stealth when I throw it at someone, so oh, good. I would have felt extra silly if I'd blown our stealth on a move like that. Now I just need to decide who I want to set it off with. Alright, well, I think I'll set everyone on Overwatch, and then I'll trigger it with Dragonova.
Got it covered.
Now, I could follow up with a grenade. Maybe finish them both off, but I'd rather save the grenade if I can finish these guys off with Overwatch. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, right. I guess because we're still under stealth, we don't take Overwatch fire. And that, Faceless is going to wander off and regenerate all his health now. But on the other hand, that Stun Lancer has conveniently placed himself in a position where I can take him out and badly damage that turret I need to take out anyway.
Fire in the hole!
Alright, now someone just needs to take out that turret, and then the rest of us can go into Overwatch while we wait for that Faceless to come rushing back. Nicely done, Zoltan. Now, everyone else, just get into Overwatch.
Got it covered!
I'll watch closely.
Mordenna, my love.
Consider yourselves lucky.
I'm thrilled to see you, but this is kind of a bad time. Could you maybe come back when I'm not stealing from your employers? Or maybe when I still have an extra Reaper Claymore in our inventory?
We just picked up the Chosen Assassin's energy signature. She's moving on the squad's position, Commander.
Okay, that is a large number of Faceless. I think we might be in trouble here. Well, it was certainly considerate of them to spread out just enough to prevent me from hitting more than one of them at a time with a grenade.
On your order!
Okay, I think what we're going to do here is fall back directly away from the Faceless and start picking off shots at them. Hopefully we can kill one or two of them before the others reach us.
I'm on the move.
But we have to remember that the lovely Mordenna is making a beeline for us right now. Now me. She loves me. But she's going to kill the rest of you. So, let's see if we can maybe avoid that if at all possible.
As you order, Commander. Good riddance. I'll need more ammo soon. Now we fight in the open.
Well, that could have gone better. Still got 3 Faceless on the field. But at least we did move far enough away that they can't reach us in one turn. Correction. Reach us and attack. So we're safe, if just for a moment. If we're lucky, they might actually all cluster around Dragonova closely enough that I can hit them all with that acid grenade. Ah, the third one just had to go and ruin it. There's one in every crowd.
With each breath, I draw closer.
I know she's trying to be scary, but it still just sounds like flirting to me. Alright, well I can at least tag 2 of these things with a single grenade. Though, obviously we'll have to move our own guys out of the way first. Well, I guess at this point we'll just have to weave through them, at least if I want to grab that other loot before it expires.
My
My life is in your hands.
Shot in the outside world, and yet here you are, caught in the same trap as all the rest.
Affirmative, moving out.
Okay, looks like I'll have to move Zoltan over as well. Then we'll drop the grenade on these guys and cut down the ones who are still standing.
Heading to that location. Get ready for a surprise.
Alright, now we've got ongoing damage on all three of these guys, so I don't necessarily need to kill them, I just need to knock them low enough that the damage over time will drop them when their turn starts. Okay, well, I may have screwed up here. I forgot to take that regeneration into account, so now, unfortunately, we've got two enraged, acid-covered faceless all over us.
Their blood is on your hands, Commander.
Okay, Mordena, this feels a little less like flirting now. Oh, geez. Okay, most of my squad is half dead now.
When they can no longer fight. For some, the pain would be empowering. I will end this quickly.
Mordena's gotta be right around the corner at this point. That loot is one turn from expiring, so let's go ahead and grab that.
Got something good here.
Yeesh, okay, well, it's not the end of the world. We can drop that faceless with someone else. Let's clear that faceless off of Phoenix real quick.
Nailed it.
To serve the elders, to fight and die on the field of battle.
You're getting awfully chatty over there, Mordena. Unfortunately, that acid cloud's making it a little tricky to maneuver here. But I need to move Phoenix into a moderately well-defended position where he can also throw out a ranged heal on someone. But I guess for the moment it's more important to take this thing out. And I guess this is a good chance to put Dragonova back into concealment. With all our grenades spent, she's pretty much our only secret weapon against Mordena at this point. But I guess it's pointless to put her into stealth unless I move her further away from the rest of my guys. Otherwise, Mordena's just going to spot her as soon as she gets close anyway.
Moving out.
Okay, well, I clearly just heard footsteps, so Mordena is obviously hiding somewhere over here on the left side. If we had any grenades left, this is the point where I'd cheese the system by poking around till I could figure out what space she was standing in, but At this point, all I can do is hunker down, toss out some healing, and prepare for the worst.
I'm on it.
Both Zoltan and Demon need healing, but Demon's a slightly higher rank, so I need to prioritize him. If we're lucky here, Mordena will rush our soldiers and run right past Dragonova, leaving her flank open to a follow-up shot.
Pausing on target position now. Rock and roll.
I'll keep an eye on it.
They're dead. Savor what time you have left. The forces of XCOM are legendary for their prowess in battle. Their favorite commander even more so. Today, you face a warrior unlike any you have ever encountered. The one who will be your end.
You've got the chosen in range.
The eldest forces to serve me.
Okay, this is looking pretty grim.
Too close to the heat.
The resurgence of XCOM ends today.
Mordena, sweetie, honey, can we maybe talk about this? Unfortunately, I think Mordena is too far away for anyone to reasonably draw line of sight on her. That means I need to focus on taking down the Advent Trooper instead. Screw it, I'll take the 40% chance to hit. Oh ho ho, alright then.
Remember, they are not.
What value do you place on the lives of your enemy?
I'm not going to say things are turning around just yet, but that was sweet. Alright, and now I think we need to get Zoltan out of here. Let's call it the Sky Ranger and then hoist him aboard. Though I hate to give up Demon's firepower just yet. Zoltan's still got a turn or two before he bleeds out, so let's keep Demon on the field for now. Oh, actually, Phoenix can stabilize Zoltan, can't he? Alright, let's move over a little closer, and I think I need to reload for now, but we'll stabilize him next turn before he finishes bleeding out.
On the move. Good to go.
Mordena, come on! Oh, okay.
Convenient with you. Clever in their ways. I will leave you with no questions.
Alright, well, first things first. Let's go have a stern talking to Mordena here.
You will find no refuge in the shadows, Reaper.
Okay, well, the good news is we just doled out a solid 10 damage. The bad news is she's still on the field and no one else can attack her. But we still have some options here. First of all, let's stabilize Zoltan before he's dead. Huh, and now he's unconscious. You know, I could remove that with the revival protocol, couldn't I? But then he'd come back with just 1 health left, and another hit would kill him. Alright, well, let's get Demon out of the way for the moment. He definitely can't attack, not with that blinded status. But at least he can get out of the way of any more area attacks.
On my way.
And I guess we'll just hold with Phoenix as well. I'm not sure how long Blinded lasts.
Getting a little toasty here.
At one time, your people fought honorably. Now you scurry in the shadows like rodents.
I could still revive Zoltan, but that would basically just turn him into a sacrificial lamb. Oh, but actually I could... Okay, I can revive him, and then he can evac himself. Yeah, that'll let me keep the other 3 soldiers on the field so that they can finish chasing off Mordenna.
On the move. I'm out of here.
Alright, now everyone else just keep your heads down and let's see what she does.
Staying put. Holding.
Give me time to reload. I will wait in cover.
Lightning strike. You will not suffer long. A tactical retreat.
Soldier down. Get him back up ASAP.
Alright, now can Phoenix...
Moving to position.
Ah, no, he doesn't have line of sight from that angle. Okay, well that's no good. Alright, well let's move Demon over here and revive Dragonova. Oh, Andy has a flanking shot on Mordenna. Alright. Okay, well let's revive first before we take the shot, just in case.
You do share an admirable sense of loyalty.
Oh, I'm sorry, were you saying something?
It's down.
You know, I'm starting to think this relationship might not be very good for either of us.
Were I to follow today, the elders would have me suffer a fate worse than death. I must retreat for now, but we will not be apart for long.
Status confirmed. All hostiles are down and the area is secure. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished. I'm sure we'll see them again, but that Chosen sure wasn't expecting the fight we put up today, Commander. Great job, Commander. We sent the Chosen back to their masters with a few scars to show for their effort. If they decide to...
According to Advent officials, recent attacks by dissident elements operating outside of the city centers have done little to slow the progress of Advent's ongoing development or outreach programs. Voluntary citizen emigration numbers are reportedly at their highest level in recent years.
Ooh, not gonna lie to you, that was a tough one. Look at Demon there, front and center. He's the MVP and he damn well knows it. Wonder if Mordenna's mad at me. I should call her.
Maybe the Elders hoped the Chosen's constant jabbering would drive us to surrender without a fight.
Wow, Volk, rude. That's my kind of girlfriend you're talking about there. Alright, well, pretty much everyone is on death's doorstep, but we got a few promotions here. Let's see what Dragonova's got to choose from here. She's got target definition, which basically lets her scout targets, and shrapnel, which improves her claymore, and her previous abilities I haven't unlocked are kill zone, which I still can't afford, and remote start, which is nice but too situational, so I think we're going to take target definition. Yeah, since she can basically stay under stealth forever if she wants to. It'll be great to track enemies more efficiently. Now, Demon's promotion's a lot easier to decide on. Between Blast Padding and Shredder, I always take Shredder. I'd rather have that armor-stripping ability than a slight defensive boost against explosive damage. And that is a decent pile of loot. Bradford enthusiastically greeted us the second the Sky Ranger got back to the Avenger, ordering the Grey Shirts to unload all the loot we had recovered from the Advent train. He was practically drooling as he cataloged each item one by one, and his eyes lingered lovingly on the salvaged remains of the Advent turret we had pulled off the locomotive. As far as he was concerned, the mission was a complete success, but I wasn't so sure. The men were all still alive, but they would all be laid up with injuries for at least a few weeks, and Zoltan seemed more than a little unhinged, ranting and raving about purple demons while his squadmates carted him back towards the barracks. That gave me pause. Was this somehow my fault? Had I brought this on the men by encouraging Mordena's increasingly amorous intentions? In retrospect, was it possible that this entire relationship had somehow been a bad idea? Nah. I shifted my focus onto something else, instead studying the latest research reports that Tygan had compiled for me. It was short and to the point. He had upgraded our radio network as quickly and efficiently as possible, and he was eager to move on to something more interesting. I wasn't crazy about his attitude, but I swung through the labs to thank him in person and found him elbows deep in an alien corpse. Well, I guess I had to give him credit for his enthusiasm, if not his discipline. I waited for him to finish, and he delivered his report on the Faceless without even a hint of shame at being caught in the middle of an unauthorized research project. I was tempted to reprimand him, but I'll admit I was somewhat impressed with his findings. He had used the creature's unique biochemistry to develop a prototype for some kind of decoy grenades, which he felt could be used to draw fire away from our soldiers on the battlefield. I wasn't sure if I wanted to encourage this sort of impulsiveness, but if he could keep getting results like this, then he was welcome to pursue other projects that caught his fancy. His face lit up, and he immediately ran off, eagerly barking at his assistants to fetch more bodies from cold storage. I'm not even sure who he had decided to dissect this time. I was just eager to get out of the lab before he could get started. When I logged back onto my personal computer, I found a new face waiting for me. Apparently, Bradford had taken it upon himself to establish contact with the local black market, and they were eager to see if I had any alien contraband to send their way. Now, I wasn't particularly keen on the idea of getting in bed with yet another band of unrepentant criminals, but since we'd already made contact with them, I decided I could at least take a look at... Wait, Dr. Su Jin Liu. And she's an engineer? She wasn't like a slave or something, right? Surely the blinking metal necklace was just a fashion statement and not some kind of, explosive collar rigged to go off if she ever disobeyed an order? Probably. Still, we did need another engineer, so... Oh, don't look at me like that. Sometimes the ends really do justify the means. At least now we can finally start working on that infirmary.